Trump told us that he wanted to be a dictator. People didn't take him seriously when he said it. And now we have these tactics where we have just devolved into lawlessness, or basically laws that only Trump is administering. There is nothing that has to do with our Constitution in what these people are doing. So his FBI director, Kash Patel, went to Twitter to say, just now, the FBI arrested Judge Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on charges of obstruction after evidence of Judge Dugan obstructing an immigration arrest operation last week. We believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the suspect to be arrested in her courthouse, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot, and he's been in custody since, but the judge's obstruction created increased danger to the public. We will have more to share soon. Excellent work. And then he tagged the FBI Milwaukee, whatever this is, handle down there at the bottom. Not too long ago, the Supreme Court of the United States gave presidents blanket immunity for doing their job. What Judge Hannah Dugan was doing her job. She was doing her job in her courtroom, and she told the FBI not to come into her courtroom. Let me do my job. She was sitting up there having court with this supposed perp right here, because there was supposed to be some due process. But instead of hearing that, they decided that this woman was obstructing justice and decided to make an example out of her. And that is what they're doing. This is lawlessness. They're making an example out of her. She was not obstructing justice. What she was doing her job. This man was in court. He was not being hidden. So let's talk about this. This article titled, Judge Dugan's Arrest Has Nothing to Do with Public Safety. When Donald Trump was criminally indicted in Manhattan in 2023, he was given a courtesy that's not the norm for many New Yorkers accused of crimes on any given day. He was given a heads up about the charges against him and told to appear in court for his arraignment without the need to arrest him and bring him before the judge. As a former president, the first in history to be indicted, he was neither a flight risk nor a danger to public safety. The thinking went. There was no need for the public spectacle or ridicule of him facing the criminal system like just about everyone else. The Trump administration gave no such courtesy to Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan on Friday. She was arrested at the courthouse where she works over FBI allegations, not yet approved by a federal grand jury, that she obstructed the functions of ICE by concealing a person the agency wanted to arrest, while that person, an undocumented immigrant from Mexico, was in Dugan's courthouse facing her in an unrelated DV matter. So he was in court. He was not being hidden. According to the FBI, the judge allowed the man, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, to exit her courtroom through a side door near the jury box to a non-public area that then led to a public area of the courthouse. Minutes after the arrest, Kash Patel, a former public defender and now the FBI director, was so ebullient about the charges that he posted about it on X, as one does in highly sensitive cases, and then deleted it before posting it again shortly after noon. Did he get a talking to from Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is above him in the chain of command in the Trump Justice Department, or perhaps wanted to be the first one to confirm the news? By 1 p.m., the Attorney General was already on Fox News trumpeting Dugan's arrest. That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Dugan, who is now in custody, Bondi said. Shame on her. It was a DV case of all cases, and she's protecting a criminal defendant over victims of crime. She later told ABC, nobody is above the law, not even a judge. According to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, during a brief hearing in federal court, Dugan said nothing, but her defense lawyers did. Judge Dugan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest. It was not in the best interest of public safety. It says it was not made in the interest of public safety. Indeed, a close reading of the 13-page affidavit supporting the criminal complaint, which notes that Dugan became visibly angry when she learned of ICE's presence at the courthouse last week. A turn of events she called absurd reveals the true import of this circus. None of it made anyone any safer. as a matter of basic federalism, which Republicans and conservatives have long embraced, armed federal agents from ICE, the FBI, and the Drug Enforcement Administration shouldn't be roaming around a state courthouse looking for people who are there for other reasons. We've been here before. In 2018, the Trump appointed U.S. Attorney in Massachusetts shocked the state when he secured an indictment against a sitting judge, Shelley Richmond Joseph, over circumstances remarkably similar to those that led to Dugan's arrest. One key difference: Joseph was not noisily arrested, and her charges were ultimately dismissed when she agreed to allow a state judicial ethics panel to handle her case. These people are doing this for optics. These people are doing this so that they can post on social media, so that they can get some ratings, because this is a reality TV president, and we have a social media co-president in Leon Scum. And this is what Axios is saying: MAGA maximalism. Trump's base loves this. They love the Wisconsin judge arrest. They needed something to try to boost his polling, because his polling is in the dumps right now. The FBI's arrest of a Wisconsin judge shocked the establishment, but is exactly the kind of escalation the MAGA base has been agitating for. This is not the time for summer soldiers or sunshine patriots, MAGA podcaster Jack Posobiec told Axios, invoking founding father Thomas Paine. Why it matters. Friday's arrest of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan on charges of obstructing an immigration arrest is a stunning escalation of President Trump's battles with political opponents. This is literally what fascism is: trying to control narratives, control what people think, control what people say. This is what he's doing with all of the Harvard situation. This is what he's doing as he's arresting students and kicking people out. This is literally what fascism is. There's no longer any freedom of speech. But listen to the reaction from influential voices in MAGA World, and you can see why you can expect more moves like it. I wouldn't necessarily say that what we've seen out of the DOJ so far rises to the level full of wrath, a full wrath, when you're talking about accountability for people who waged lawfare. Natalie Winters, a correspondent from Steve Bannon's War Room podcast. The backstory: when Trump took office, his diehard fans were craving a pedal to the metal offensive against the deep state. Trump delivered a shock and awe series of first 100-day actions and executive orders. But MAGA podcasts and social media posts showed the true believers wanted more: arrest of political foes. Arrest of political foes, just like when he was talking about lock her up against Hillary Clinton in his first term. They didn't lock up enough people. There wasn't enough backlash against Democrats in his first term. So that's what they're trying to get now. It says on day one, supporters got a dose of Trump maximalism when he blanket pardoned most of those charged on the January 6th failed insurrection, including those accused of violence. The movement then expected a wave of arrest of bureaucrats. It never came. I don't know about you, but I'm still waiting for prosecutions, Judicial Watch head Tom Fitton said earlier this month. Behind the scenes, Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel have urged patience, insisting to the base that they're hard at work targeting deep state provocateurs and the enemies of MAGA. Friday's arrest took some pressure off. So that is where we are, y'all. This is literally where we are with MAGA. They have voted in, enemies of they've voted in people that are considering just dissenting voices to be enemies of the state. That's where we are. All right, y'all. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.